Okay, so I found a scripture to read. So this is Exodus chapter 18, where the people are already out of Egypt, I think. Yeah. And Moses is here. So let's read this one, chapter 18 of Exodus. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. Sound familiar? And the name of the other was Eliza, for the God of my father, said he, was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her 2 sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all that goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing therein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God, and Aaron came, and all the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto even? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and his people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s and rulers of 10s, and let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened unto the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all of Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought to Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. And it was a bit of wisdom about the law, wasn't it? So that's the next chapter. Chapter 19 is a really interesting one. So we might just continue. I really want to read the Exodus part to give you an idea of what's sort of afoot, I suppose. But let's read chapter 19. So in the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. And for they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words, which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that the Lord hath spoken we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes. And be ready against the 3rd day, for the 3rd day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever toucheth the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the 3rd day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning, that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace. And the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai, on the top of the mount, and the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also, which come near to the Lord, sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth upon them. And Moses said unto the Lord, The people cannot come up to this Mount Sinai, for thou chargest us, saying, Set bounds about the mount, and sanctify it. And the Lord said unto him, Away, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went down unto the people, and spake unto them. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labour, and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honour thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbour. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbour's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountains smoking. And when people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not. I just want to stop at that one, because verse 20, it has that bit about fear before your faces, and I just wanted to go over here because they got a little footnote, and then I'll continue. But it says to take courage. So fear not is to take courage. It's got about courage and fearful. And it says that God's presence come and test. And here E, where it says fear may be before your faces, or original, because respect for him will always be present with you, you will not sin. So that's not, it's, confusing, but that makes more sense. And the people stood far off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall you make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone, for if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. So there's lots of extremely interesting things in that one. So a ramp was rather to be provided to get up onto the thing. So a ramp or steps. And so it's not allowed to be a clean cut stone. It has to just be a stone from, like just a cut stone. Not a cut stone, like a natural stone, just a rock. And so, these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. And now we're talking about different things, what happened. It's very strict law. So that's what happened after Egypt, the judgment and all of this. For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people. The Lord identifies himself in Jehovah. But by my name Jehovah was I not known to them. I didn't know Jehovah was in the Bible. And there you go. Jehovah. I don't know if that's this edition or... interesting. Okay, yeah, so the genealogies of Reuben, Simeon and Levi are listed. Yeah, So there's a spot where the people leave, and the Egyptians are cursed. And so I might do that in a separate one. I like this one, how I've done it so far. But there's the tribes being talked about here. There's a few, Benjamin, Joseph, etc. And do you know, Joseph's father died, I think. Yeah, Joseph's father died, and the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days, so 70 days. Yeah, so, alright, I want to find the Egypt one, but it's going to take me a while to figure out which bit to read. The bit I want to read is the bit where he's told to take the gold, because it tells you how we need to leave now. Joseph's promises that God will bring Israel out of Egypt. Okay, so that bit, God will bring out of Egypt. Oh yeah, Joseph dies. Oh, sorry, Jacob died, not Joseph. Okay, now, there are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Spake of Hebrew midwives, of which the name one was Shiphrah. When you did office of a midwife to Hebrew women and see them upon the... Yeah, so they're talking about... So this is Exodus, where we sort of find Egypt getting a bit more bitter. So every time, yeah, when you do the office of a midwife to a Hebrew woman and see them upon stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him, but if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men and children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, Why have you done this thing, and have saved the men and children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. It's a common thing that nasty people do, is they kill off the males, and they then set about raping or teaching the women to peaceably get raped. I said peaceably, but yeah, so Moses is born. Let's keep going. That one's the Lord appears to Moses at the burning bush. Moses is called to deliver Israel from bondage. The Lord identifies himself as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and as the great I Am, who promises to smite Egypt and bring his people out with great wealth. So let's read. Is that... Moses. Moses and Aaron and Pharaoh to free Israel. Pharaoh responds, Who is the Lord? Oh yeah, it keeps going, gets worse. I don't know. I'm going to keep going. So he goes through all this hard stuff. Moses and Abraham ask Pharaoh to free Israel. Pharaoh responds, Who is the Lord? He places greater burdens upon the children of Israel. So it's getting rougher, so it doesn't get easier. The Lord sends plagues of frogs, lice, and flies upon Egypt. Pharaoh hardens his heart. He says he's going to just be a total dickwit and not listen. And the people just want to leave. They're making it, the God makes it really, the Father God type thing makes it really difficult to live in those conditions. And The Lord destroys the cattle of the Egyptians, but not of the Israelites. Boils and blains are sent upon the Egyptians. The Lord sends hail and fire upon the people of Pharaoh, but not unto the people of Israel. So when you get all those injections and things, do you wonder why what's happening is happening? There's another chapter, 10. The Lord sends a plague of locusts. This is followed by thick darkness in all Egypt for 3 days. Moses is cast out from the presence of Pharaoh. I'm kind of fast forwarding, aren't I? There's that page, Exodus. Chapter 11. The departing Israelites are authorized to ask for jewels and gold from their neighbors. The Lord promises to slay the firstborn in every Egyptian home. He puts a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites, whereas before there wasn't a difference. You can't tell them apart. They were all Westernkind types. So anyone who tells you Egyptians were dark, that they're lying to you, or they just don't know. They believe whatever they've heard. So the Lord institutes the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Let's read this chapter. And the Lord said unto Moses, Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbour, and every woman of her neighbour, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And the Lord gave the people favour in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, Thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all of the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall it be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land. The firstborn of all Egyptians are slain. Israel is thrust out of Egypt after 430 years. No bones of the paschal lambs are to be broken. Beautiful. Yeah, so they leave after having borrowed a whole heap of stuff. And let's skip here. The children of Israel sing the song of Moses. They extol the Lord as a man of war and rejoice in their deliverance from Egypt. So they got thrown out. Let's see. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them. But it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground. And the waters were a wall unto them, on their right, and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued, and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily. So the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. He took the wheels off. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. And the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on the right hand and on the left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord, and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. The children of Israel sing the song of Moses. So there, the waters of Marah are healed. The Lord promises to free Israel from the diseases of Egypt. Yeah, so there's a lot of things going on. Do you see how it's going to be? That the flood is not necessarily the water with the walls up the sides, although they said some people are saying they found evidence of this, things in the sand and all of that near the the rocks near that bit of water. I don't know. I'm not going to make any claims, but yeah. So then Israel murmurs for want of water. Moses smites a rock in Horeb, and water gushes forth. Aaron and Hur uphold Moses' hands, so that Joshua prevails against Amalek. Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Yeah, so Joshua. Aaron and Hur went to the top. And that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. They took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So I don't know. I'm sort of thinking about the name of the Jehovah, where it said Jehovah. What chapter was that? Is it in here that he told him? Fascinating, isn't it? So there's so much more. Then they complained and they didn't have food, and don't you ever just complain like you want more variety? Oh, you're so, he said he made the food sweet. I should find that bit. Actually. So that's the water bit. Let's keep going. Jethro comes to Moses, bringing Moses' wife and sons. We read that one. Now we read this one. Covenants to make Israel peculiar treasure. Oops. Here's my ugly old skin. It's because I pick at my skin when I get upset. Chapter 20. The Lord reveals the 10 Commandments, Israel to bear witness that the Lord has spoken from heaven. The children of Israel are forbidden to make gods of silver or gold. They are to make altars of unhewn stones and sacrifice. We've looked at that. The laws pertaining to marriage, death penalty for various offences, giving an eye for an eye and a tooth for tooth, and damage done by oxen. The Lord reveals his laws pertaining to stealing, destructions by fire, care of the property of others, borrowing, lascivious acts, sacrifice to false gods, afflicting widows, usury, reviling God, and the firstborn of men and animals. Usury. Here it is. Look, there. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. Thou shalt not vex a stranger, nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. And then it said that bit I read a bit. And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be your widows, and your children fatherless. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. If thou at all take thy neighbour's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. And that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, that I will hear him, for I am gracious. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and of thy liquors, the firstborn of thy sons, shalt thou give unto me. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with this dam, his dam. On the 8th day thou shalt give it to me. So, dam is the mother. And then, and ye shall be holy men and unto me, neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. So, if, say, a dog, or like an injured animal, you don't eat the injured animal, because you could get quite sick actually, yeah. You give it to the dogs, or, they can have it. We only eat what we purposefully kill ourselves, our people. So, thou shalt not raise a false report, not put thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. If thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. Thou shalt not wrest the judgment of thy poor in his cause. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous. Also, thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. And 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat. And what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy oliveyard. 6 days shalt thou do thy work. Thou shalt do thy work. And on the 7th day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. So then it talks about the feasts that we are supposed to keep as a people. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, an adversary unto thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee, and bring thee in unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor their barren, in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come. And I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. And then there's lots of things. Israel accepts the word of the Lord by covenant. Yeah, so the Lord goes to and then Moses goes to the mount to get the commandments. So 70 of the elders of Israel see God. So, and this is where your I thought they already received the things, but I guess he went up to get them. Yeah, so I thought it was Exodus chapter 20. Yeah, so Exodus chapter 20 was where all those commandments. So he's getting a tablets with it all on there. Maybe the God went up and they made it into stones. Right, so I'm going to finish with that right now. I don't want to keep reading. I already made a video. I'm going to put this one on. I just like this. This is a 1979-2013 version, or, copy by that church there. I like it. Authorised K.J.V version with explanatory notes and cross references. Oh, I'm so tired. Anyway, I wanted to go to the law library today. I hope they're nice to me tomorrow, because these two people are so mean. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just have to deal with it. So, okay, that's it for today. Have a wonderful afternoon and evening, and it's 7 p.m, so probably dinner time or something. Right, have a good one.